Ferrari was back in the spotlight at the 2025 Australian Grand Prix, but not because of a brilliant victory, but because of a strategy that led to a major disappointment. A mistake in timing a tire change in the rain cost the team a golden opportunity and left Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc with results far from expectations. How exactly did Ferrari's strategic decision lead to such a disappointing result? Let's discuss. Ferrari started the race from a disadvantageous position, with Leclerc in P7 and Hamilton in P8. However, the rain that fell in the middle of the race should have been an opportunity for the Maranello team to achieve a better result, considering the characteristics of their car, which is designed for wet track conditions. Unfortunately, Ferrari's strategy turned out to be a disaster. As the rain began to fall and several drivers, including the McLaren duo, had difficulty keeping their cars on the track, Ferrari decided to keep both of their SF25s on the track for an extra lap. This decision resulted in a lot of time being lost, as the dry tires they were using no longer had enough grip. The situation was somewhat salvaged when Fernando Alonso crashed, bringing out the safety car and giving Ferrari the opportunity to pit with little additional loss. However, the poor strategic decision had already cost them their chances. Hamilton, who made his debut with Ferrari this season, was frustrated with the execution of the team's strategy in the final race. In a post-race interview, the seven-time world champion expressed his disappointment with the team's performance and felt that the race was more difficult than he had expected. "It was a very difficult race, much worse than I expected. The car was very difficult to control. I was grateful to be able to keep the car on the track because most of the time I felt like I was going to hit the wall," said Hamilton in the interview. He highlighted a number of factors that made the race a difficult experience, particularly in terms of communication between himself and the team. According to him, one of the biggest mistakes came when he came out of the pits. Hamilton questioned the team's decision regarding tire strategy and inaccurate weather forecasts. "I was told it wouldn't rain too hard and wouldn't last long, but it turned out to be the opposite. The track conditions were very slippery and we were not prepared for that. It was a misinformation that should not happen in a team like Ferrari," he said. This miscommunication caused him to lose his position and struggle to get back to the front. Frustrated by the situation, Hamilton even used harsh words over the team radio, although he immediately apologized for his emotions. Aside from the weather, Hamilton also highlighted how Ferrari's strategy put him in a difficult situation when facing other drivers on the track. He revealed that he had great difficulty trying to pass Alexander Albon, which should have been easier in terms of strategy and speed. "I was stuck behind Albon for too long and it was really frustrating. I feel we should have done something better in terms of strategy." Strangely, a rookie like Andrea Kimi Antonelli was able to pass him more easily. "This clearly shows that there is something wrong with the team's strategic approach," continued Hamilton. With these unsatisfactory results, Hamilton hopes that Ferrari will immediately carry out a thorough evaluation so that similar mistakes are not repeated in the next race. He emphasized the importance of better communication and more mature strategic decisions, especially in racing conditions full of uncertainty. Ferrari itself has made no official response to Hamilton's criticism. However, with a long season ahead of them, the Italian team will need to find a solution quickly to ensure the best performance from their drivers, including Hamilton, who will certainly be challenging for the title again. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc could not hide his disappointment after the challenging race. The Monaco driver felt that Ferrari had missed a great opportunity to achieve much better results, especially considering the constantly changing race conditions due to the unpredictable weather. "This is a missed opportunity. In conditions like these, where weather changes can be beneficial, we should have been able to make better use of the situation. But when it came to making important strategic decisions, we made the wrong move," said a disappointed Leclerc. Leclerc pointed out that the team's strategy should have been better adapted to the situation on the track. According to him, in a very dynamic race like this, quick and precise decisions are the key to achieving maximum results. Unfortunately, Ferrari failed to implement the right strategy and lost a golden opportunity to finish on the podium. Not only that, but Leclerc admitted that he himself made a mistake coming out of turn 11, which caused him to lose 4 positions in an instant. Although he realized his mistake, he still believed that if the team's strategy had been more mature and precise, they would have had a great chance of securing 3rd or 4th place. "We had quite good speed, but because of the strategy mistake we actually fell behind. I also made my own mistakes that cost me some positions, but in the end the team's decision also had a big influence. If we had made better decisions, I'm sure the result would have been very different," he continued. Leclerc's frustration was increasingly evident in his radio communication with race engineer Brian Botzi. In one of the moments that reflected the tension within the Ferrari team, Leclerc reported a water leak in the cockpit of his car. However, the response he received from Botzi was confusing. "What leak?" Botzi asked, apparently not understanding the situation Leclerc was experiencing. An increasingly frustrated Leclerc immediately replied in an annoyed tone, "My cockpit is full of water." But Botzi's answer was not a solution or quick action, just unhelpful speculation. "It must be rainwater," he said casually, as if to belittle Leclerc's complaint. This answer only increased Leclerc's annoyance. He felt that the communication between him and the team was not going as well as it should have, and this worsened the atmosphere of the race, which was already quite difficult for him. This incident reinforced the idea that Ferrari had a lot of homework to do in terms of strategy and team communication. Mistakes in decision-making and a lack of quick reactions to situations on the track were the main factors that prevented them from achieving optimal results. For Leclerc, this race was not only about losing important points, but also proved that there were still big gaps in team coordination that needed to be fixed. If Ferrari wanted to compete more seriously at the top, they had to find solutions to these fundamental problems immediately, before it was too late. This Australian Grand Prix is an early indication that Ferrari still has a lot of homework to do in terms of strategy and communication. Despite showing competitive pace in several sessions, the same problems that have plagued the team in recent seasons seem to have persisted. One of the most highlighted aspects is how the team makes strategic decisions during the race. Ferrari is often criticized for its immature strategy and unclear communication, which often ends up hurting its own drivers. This has been seen in several previous incidents where decisions were made too late or out of sync with the situation on the track, resulting in a loss of position or the opportunity to achieve better results. This is a challenge for Lewis Hamilton, who joined the team this season after years with Mercedes. At Mercedes, Hamilton is used to more structured communication and faster and more precise strategic decisions. At Ferrari, he still seems to be adjusting to the team's way of working and communicating. Former F1 driver and analyst Karun Chandok also pointed out that Hamilton is still trying to understand the instruction system implemented by Ferrari, which may be different from what he was used to at Mercedes. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc, who has been with the team longer, is no stranger to this kind of situation. In recent years, he has often found himself in a difficult position due to Ferrari's less than optimal strategic decisions. Although Leclerc has great potential and often shows exceptional performance on track, the team sometimes fails to maximize his opportunities due to late decisions or lack of coordination between the pit wall and the drivers. This is not a new problem for Ferrari. In recent seasons, they have faced the same criticism regarding inefficient strategic decision-making. Although the team has great resources and a competitive car, the lack of precision in strategy often becomes an obstacle in their struggle to achieve consistent wins. After a strategy disaster in Melbourne, Ferrari must bounce back quickly before the Chinese GP. Can Hamilton and Leclerc change the culture at Ferrari? Can Ferrari recover from this slump? Write your opinion.